Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. Today I should like to speak to you about the state of our civilized world, and speak to you individually as living men and women who are the creators of your own quality of life. You are responsible. I have spent 25 years speaking the truth, the non-dualistic energy of what is, that is perceivable only by the subconscious mind. But for many of you, it is filtered through your dualistic, satanically ruled, conditioned intellect. The mind that creates hell. Yes, your lives are hell. You perceive the world through the screen, the intellectual screen of dualism. And you're not quite sure. You're confused. You're conflicted. You operate from a limited level of consciousness that is programmed into you by the educational system, by the governmental system, by the religious systems. These are all satanic thought processes. They are not true because they are not what is. They are the illusion, the reflection, the symbol of what is. And they're based on words. They're based on ideas. All ideas in the intellectual mind are dualistic in nature. Therefore, they are not whole. They are not holy. They are not complete. And because they cannot be complete, they cannot be true. For only truth is whole, complete, what is. That's love. That's what God is. In your satanically conditioned intellectual mind, you worship the idea of God that has been programmed into you, that has been constantly repeated in the point of hypnotic suggestion. That's a spell. That creates the illusion of life. And that's what civilized life is all about. It's the world of ideas, of words, of interpretations, of definitions about something that otherwise cannot be communicated. But it can be felt. It can be resonated with. And that is truth. I speak to you of that non-dualistic truth. But I must use words. And those words then can be interpreted according to definitions, which differ from person to person. You do understand that I have not used man to man because they are completely different energies. A man is whole, holistic. A man is the God of his own life. He creates his own life. He's responsible for his own quality of life. A person, on the other hand, is a dutiful automaton who is based in dualism and obeys words, ideas, commandments, laws, regulations, rules. You understand? That's the arena of deadness, of the after moment. Truth is apprehended only in the moment, the eternal moment of now, which is timeless, beyond time, beyond the limitations of words, ideas, symbols, reflections. Now, you all are civilized. You've been sent to school for most of your life, the formative years of your life. And that time has resulted in your view of the world. And that separates you from others who hold different views. Understand that? Beyond your own world, to everyone else, they abide by their particular view of the world. And that puts you in conflict. That puts you in dualistic opposition. That is hell. You're living in hell. You create hell. You sustain hell. You support hell. Everything you know is based in satanic belief. You don't understand anything other than words. That's your civilized world. Go back to the beginning of time, the beginning of the first civilization, and you will find that Satan has ruled the satanic world of dualism. And you have given up voluntarily your subconscious, non-dualistic, direct apprehension of what is, that is found only in the subconscious mind. That's the mind of creation, the mind of God, the mind that I speak of. I am a living Christ. And a Christ is just a simple man of truth, of non-duality. And because of that, everyone who lives in the state of duality finds that to be an opposing thought. And they must argue. They must debate. They must fight. They must kill. They must exploit. They live in the world that allows for all these things to happen, and they call that civilized. Hell, isn't it? Now, I have been speaking to you and writing on the internet for 25 years. Going back to 1999, I asked for an FBI investigation into the satanic powers that set about a campaign to destroy the credibility of this living Christ. The FBI refused to investigate, giving no reasonable excuse for doing so, other than they had the power to refuse. And they did. But that didn't stop the satanic campaign that continued. and branched off into different areas. The courts, for example, they tried to shut me up by threatening me with a 40-year prison sentence in 2 trials that are based on my headlights were on high beam, and I was stopped on a traffic stop. Simple, isn't it? If you think so, you would be mistaken, for that led into a threat of 40 years in prison. Why? Because I held my government officials, the police, the judges, the state's attorney, the Oregon Secretary of State, the governor of Oregon, and I went into the federal government that continues to this very day, a 25-year disinformation, libelous campaign to destroy this living Christ, to the point where they failed. And what was the outcome of that? They changed their tactics. They declared that I, this living Christ, am dead. And that the image that you see talking to you is an impostor. I assure you. If an investigation were conducted, it would prove that I am Raymond Ronald Karchevsky, the man speaking to you, and I am very much alive. So, the lie that I am dead doesn't fly anymore. So, what's the next step that government has taken? They have ignored the very existence of this living Christ. And the corporate structures that control the videos, display, the communications on the internet, they minimize the counters of my videos to double-digit numbers, which is going out to a worldwide audience. And those double-digit numbers extend to a year. To a year. Now, prior to that time, my videos, registered numbers in the thousands, the multiple thousands. That's before I had announced that I was just a living, simple man of truth, the Christ. You see, you have been lied to all of your life. You are worshiping a legend, a myth. The man Jesus of Nazareth existed, no question about that, but by a different name, by a different color of skin. So everything that you know about Jesus is an idea, a fiction, and you believe it. And in that belief, you treat that as truth. It cannot be true. Jesus wasn't white. He was Jewish. He had a different color. He had a different name. It wasn't Jesus. That's merely the unfolding of the myth according to different political and religious beliefs. So, you worship a fiction. You do not worship what is God, unfolding, holistically, holy, in the moment. And you do not recognize truth because the idea of truth is your God. and that limits you according to your belief. Our world is coming to an end. Not completely, just the idea that we hold about our world is coming to an end. And I, this living Christ, in telling you the truth, am expediting that. We are heading for an economic collapse that is designed to force you, all you blind believers out there, all you government worshippers out there, your persons, which are fictional ideas that are conjured up by a dualistic intellect. You're dead people, persons. You're the living dead, you see. The creator of, that is you, the living man or living woman, who conjures up these ideas through their beliefs, have set themselves aside by consenting to becoming and agreeing to be the person by legal contract, which is satanic. Our entire legal system has not changed since the time of Jesus of Nazareth. He opposed them and the bankers of his time, the money changers. Nothing has changed. I am doing the same thing today, now. At this very moment, I am exposing the government for its fictional status that is only operable in your conscious intellect and does not exist anywhere else in consciousness. Most of you have never, ever gone that far. You merely go by your beliefs, and that is how you are controlled. You are slaves. But your energy is of the subconscious mind, and that is holistic. And it's transformed into money, which is dualistic. That's your life energy, transformed into concept. And that concept becomes your reality, your fiction. And that fictional world bleeds you dry of your life energy through taxes and through religion, through tithing. Both are satanic. They attack you, the living man, the living woman, the holistic creator of all dualistic thought, which contains within it the fictional world that you call civilized. Understand? It's all an illusion. Why is it an illusion? Because it's fragmented. It has its limitations. It has its birth, and it has death. And in between those 2 points, artificial points of intellect, lies civilized life. And that is the life that you lead. All of you who live in your conscious intellect, you live in an illusion. You live in a fictional world. And that is why you believe in birth and death. In reality, in truth, each and every one of you are living, breathing, flesh and blood men and women. But your spirit is eternal. The body will die. The mind will die. But you, the essence, the spirit, the truth, the God, is eternal. You shall never die. But that's what you don't understand, because you are believers. You are mind-controlled believers that are set into a life of conflict and confusion, contradiction. You live a life of sin. For sin is nothing more than contradiction in essence. Now, I have been asking, as I say, for an investigation into the powers, the satanic powers that have been attempting for 25 years to destroy this living Christ. And I have gone to the government, because you believe in the government. You can't possibly understand what I'm talking about, because I'm speaking truth and you're speaking deception, ideas, myths, legends, beliefs. Your world is not real, and it therefore conflicts with the reality of what is the truth. Since 1999, I have persisted with the different administrations at the government levels, on the county level, the state level, and the federal level, up to and including the White House and the Supreme Court and presidents. Their entire structure is threatened by this living Christ, because this Christ only speaks of truth. The energy of his words are true and cannot be twisted. That is provable by looking at the evidence that may be found on my websites, arkenterprises.com and lisarayenterprises.com, and found at the many search engines regarding my name. You will see that I have not contradicted myself in 25 years. Can any of you say that yourself? Your life is full of contradictions from day to day, from hour to hour, from minute to minute. But my words stand. I stand by my words. They are my affidavit of truth in a satanic court of law. So I'm dealing with both the divine and the unholy when I step into the civilized world and the powers that rule it, government and religion. I stand by my words. My words are truth, and any investigation that should be made of this living Christ will stand on the evidence, all in writing, and I will swear an affidavit to its accuracy, to its truth. Even though I am beyond the limitations, the jurisdiction of the satanic courts of law found in Oregon and elsewhere, in this country, the U.S., and in the world. You're all living in hell, and I'm in hell there with you, but I'm not of it. President Donald J. Trump has refused to issue or authorize an investigation into this living Christ, because if he does, the truth of the corruption, of the criminal actions of those who hold offices at the various county, state, and federal levels are in jeopardy. What does that mean? That means I threaten your entire civilized world. This simple, one, single, solitary man of truth, this Christ, living Christ, that will not be accepted by you because it threatens your entire life, your concepts of security. But that must come down because it is hell. And you cannot argue otherwise. You cannot make it otherwise. You all live with crime, with corruption, and you support all those things. You go to war, you kill each other for commercial profit that manipulates you through your thought process. That's your army. That's your police department. They only exist in a fictional world. I'm a retired police sergeant, so I've been through it, and I've risen above it. That contributes to my understanding of what is. And I had to go through all of the temptations that drew me away from truth, just as it does you. That's the nature of why you're here on this earth, to learn that you are the sovereign. You are a God in your non-dualistic mind and responsible for the quality of your life. When that happens, there's no welfare. Everyone takes responsibility for themselves, and if they don't, they perish. That's the nature of nature itself. Look at the animal kingdom. The weak perish, and the strong survive, if not prosper. Understand that applies also to each and every one of you at your holistic, subconscious level. You either sell out, sell your souls for security, the idea of security, or you meet life holistically. You head on and take responsibility for your actions. How many of you do that? How many of you can do that? Well, that's what's going on. Who do I blame? If blame is to be applied to anything, it's you, the civilized man, who demand that life provides for them a living because they didn't agree to be born, and life owes them a living. That's the nature of the quality of consciousness that is displayed by your children. That's why the generation gap has become the battleground that it is. That includes my very family. I am alone. I left my family back in the 50s, the 60s rather, excuse me. And I moved out of Chicago to California and struck out a new life, relying upon no one but myself. And I supported my wife and 3 children, relying upon no one but myself. That's the nature of my personal trek in living on this plane of consciousness, which led me to the truth that I understand and speak of daily to you. That is how we change our world, because we have created that world. And being the creators of that fictional world, we can just as well, damn well, uncreate it. That's how we change our life. That's how we change our world. That's how we change ourselves. We stop supporting government that keeps us in slavery, monetary slavery and personal enslavement. They're working toward a new world order, a satanic new world order that will become cashless, take away the material evidence of your life force and keep it under their control. When they have control over your life force, they control your life. Get that through your soul, your thick skulls. That's what's afoot here. As I have said, President Donald J. Trump, the CEO of the corporation that is the United States, in all capital letters, it's all a fiction. And he is a fictional titular head of that corporation. And you think that he is your president. He is your employee. He is there at your consent. But that consent has turned against you. You still have the power to impeach or to vote him out of office. And I'm not saying that you ought to do that, because I think, I believe, I perceive all of these things because I am in your world. And all those things are there within my consciousness that I penetrate through to the spirit of the word. And I am not stopped at the letter of the definition of the word, and therefore am controlled. If he does not serve you, get rid of him. My personal perception of President Donald J. Trump is that he is doing the best he can under the circumstances of tremendous satanic pressures, both by the opposing political Democratic Party members and his trusted advisors. They're all satanic. They're all individuals who are ambitious, who are wealthy, who have gained great wealth, great power, because of their satanic participation in the fictional agency of government. I'm saying bring the whole damn structure down. Boycott it. Because you, the creators of government, are the only ones who can uncreate it. And that requires that you boycott. You apply your energy individually to that end. And you will change your life. You will change the lives of your children, of your dependents, the generations to come. You will change your world. And that is what I am talking to you about. Look at the double-digit numbers of my videos. But don't let that stop you, because that's what's intended to do, to stop you from going any further. Check in one of those videos and see if the content of those videos are concomitant with the views, and you will see they are not. I speak to you of life itself, and the opposition changes everything, but it changes the numbers of worldwide videos to double-digit numbers. That's how easily your minds are controlled. And it's time that if you want to change your world, you stop. You return to your proper status as the creator of government. And if you're not satisfied with your government or religion, you boycott the hell out of it. That's my message to you.